combating nutrition disinformation and general bull. It's Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another Instagram Live, and we're here with another Jimmy Rants. And if you watch me live on Instagram, go follow me, by the way, at Livin' Low Carb Man over there on Instagram. I did this Jimmy Rants this morning, and right in the middle of doing the Jimmy Rants take was so hot that it actually kicked me off because my phone overheated. So we're going to try not to overheat the phone this time. JimmyRants.com is where you can access all the videos of all the past rants that we've done. And coming very soon, we're going to have a Jimmy Rants podcast for you guys. So stay tuned for that. But I wanted to get right back to the topic that I had talked about this morning. But we're going to address it again here. Hopefully it won't overheat. So here we go. Today's Jimmy Rants topic. I usually talk about a lot of things in the world of nutritional health. But there's more to Jimmy more than just talking about diet and health. And so this topic is one such topic. It's about how we treat each other. It's about the art of being kind. And when you do that, the immense strength that it wields you. So I don't know if you've noticed or not, but in our culture, just over the past few years, it's gotten extremely ugly. People don't know how to talk to each other. If they disagree, it certainly turns into a huge mountain. Whereas used to, when you disagreed with someone, all it was just a simple disagreement, and you agreed to disagree, and you listened to each other. You didn't necessarily come to some conclusion that you agreed, but you listened to each other, you kind of learned from one another, and then you left and went and had a drink together. I mean, that's the way civil discourse used to be. Well, now, if you try to have a disagreement with someone, it turns into this, well, you're the most evil person in the world. And we've seen this in the political world. We just had a big election yesterday, and a lot of people, well, if you don't support this candidate, then you're evil. Or, well, you support the opposite candidate, oh, no, you're evil. And so there's this whole notion of being unkind to other people. And we were never intended as human beings to not be kind to one another. Kindness is a chosen act. You choose whether or not you're kind to people. I try to be kind to everybody I meet. And I hold the door open for people. I say hello. You do all the cordial things. And then with friends, you hug them when you see them. You greet them. And if you have a disagreement, you're not disowning them as a friend. No, you're being kind to them. And you say, okay, I hear what you're saying. I don't necessarily agree with that myself, but I'm glad that you shared what you did. And of course, if you truly listen to people and get a vibe for why they believe what they believe, then you get a little more understanding about why you believe what you believe. So I've never shied away from people that necessarily just disagree with me. And I had a gentleman on my podcast, the Livin' La Vida Low Carb Show. I'll never forget this one. It was episode 686, and his name was Dr. John McDougall. If you haven't listened to that one yet, go look it up. And he was ugly to me. Let's just put it that way. He's a famous vegan doctor, thinks everybody should eat a starch-based diet. And I was trying to ask him questions about what he thought about sugar and what he thought about, the meat and just various questions, just kind of tinkering with him to pick his brain. I had a vegan on. I wanted to talk about it. And he just ripped into me personally and said some of the most vile, disgusting, unkind things that you could possibly say to and about a human being. So that's where we are in our culture. So you might be wondering, okay, what's all this mean? What do we do with it? Well, I don't think we're going to close Pandora's box. Pandora's box has been opened. People are already unkind to one another. They're not going to treat each other well in general as a culture. So what do we do as individuals? We choose kindness. We choose kindness. So if somebody on Instagram or Facebook or even on YouTube says something really, really ugly to or about you, you can choose to lash out and let them have the satisfaction of knowing that they upset you. And then all it is this lashing out, lashing out, lashing out, lashing out, back and forth, tit for tat, right? That's all it is. It becomes this tit for tat where you're just lashing out, lashing out, lashing out, lashing out. What good does that accomplish? At the end of the day, it doesn't accomplish anything. So then what's your other choice? You could choose to be kind. So if you choose when someone decides to be ugly or mean to you, and you choose to respond in a kind manner, you know what the innocent third-party bystander that sees that conversation, you know what they think? They think that you are the one that's the wise one, and the other person's the wackadoodle, right? So, words of wisdom. There is an art to being kind. You must choose to be that way. Our natural inclination from a human perspective is to just lash out when people lash out at us. But I want to challenge everyone watching this, listening to this right now. If someone is unkind to you, choose to be kind back. Because when you do that, the Bible says you heap coals, hot coals on their head. Because it's different. It's countercultural, if you think about it, to be kind when someone is ugly. And just in general, be kind to people. Hold the door open. Say hello. Smile. All of those things can go a very long way. All right, I want to see what you guys have to say here. Thanks for being here. Respect. Yes, where is respect? You're right, Barnyard Coffee. Exactly. There's no more respect in this day and age, sadly. And it has become such a part of our culture now. People just accept that you're going to be ugly towards one another. And it's become the norm. And I want to change that. I hope you want to change that. Because this is something that if we don't stand up to be the change, who is, right? So if you don't make that conscious choice that you want to be kind to other people, even when they're saying the ugliest, most vile things in the world to and about you, then what is going to change? Nothing. But here's what happens. What if you respond kindly to somebody and then they go, oh, whoa, it kind of shines a light on them really brightly that they go, whoa, I had no idea I was being that way. Not everybody's going to respond that way. But sometimes just being kind back to them. And I try this all the time. As you guys know, I get a lot of hate. And so my strategy dealing with those people is never to just automatically block and delete them. No. I always give them a chance to be kind back. When I'm kind towards them, when they've said the vilest, most ugly things about me, I give them the opportunity to reciprocate. Now, sometimes when I come back with kindness, they double down in the ugliness. And that's when you make the decision that it's probably best to block and delete those people. But only after I've given them the opportunity. Because sometimes people are hurting. And this, I heard a phrase many years ago that hurt people hurt people. And so there's a lot of hurting people out there. And their way of dealing with their own hurt is to hurl hurt on other people. So I'm very compassionate towards people like that and trying to help them. It's why being kind to them, I might be the only kind person that they run into, because most people will lash out at them because they're mean to them and the meanness comes back on them. So I'm hoping this resonates with you just a little bit, that if someone's really, really ugly towards you, the very best thing you can do for your own sanity and to help that person is to be kind in return. Lady Braun says it is definitely difficult when anyone is mean. However, it definitely throws them off track and for the most part makes them pause. And that's my whole point here. Thank you for being here, by the way. Good to see you here. that's my whole point. I want people to realize that you can be countercultural, and buck the trend of what the norm is, and the norm is to lash out. So if the norm is to lash out and you return kindness, what a cool, refreshing glass of water that is for their soul, possibly, that you've now gifted to them that they don't even know that they needed to be gifted. So that's where we go with that one. Kimberly Jackson Simmons says, there's a lady that works at a store I go to often. She's always grouchy. I made a point to always be uplifting when I see her. It's been weeks of uplifting. Guess what? She's now started being nice. I've noticed the same thing. I do the same thing. When I see someone that's really ugly, I'm like over the top, giddy, happy, and saying nice things to them, because you'll even get them to crack a smile. And that's when you know the power, the immense strength that this kindness thing wields. It's truly life-changing. Real Food with Jess, kill them with kindness. It's pretty cool to see people soften with kindness thrown at them. And again, yes, exactly. When people come at you really hard, they're usually in a place in their life that they're hurting, and they need someone to just love them. But see, they don't have that in their heart, so they don't know how to express that. So when someone has love for them by showing them kindness, then they're like, oh, finally, somebody understands. I know this is a little off the beaten path of what I usually rant about, but this is something that weighs on my heart a lot. When I get all this ugliness that I see online where people kind of say this and that and this and that, and it's in every sector of life, even the nutritional health world where I live. People say the most vile, ugly things about each other, and I'm going, really? All over food? Really? But yes, so it does apply a little bit, but I think just from my heart to you guys today, I wanted to make sure that I expressed that we all need to be a little kinder to one another. And can you imagine what the world would be like if everybody treated everybody else with respect, with compassion, with kindness that we all want and deserve to have, right? Keep doing these, Jimmy. Thank you for always having empathy and compassion at the forefront of what you do. Thank you, Jess. Always. And I even see it for people that have dealt with obesity, for example. They usually feel like outcasts. And so sometimes people like that can tend to allow their hearts to be hardened, and they become unkind. And so then people, oh, look at that fat person that's mean. And it just, that breaks my heart, honestly. And yet that's where we are in our society. And then those people are also ostracized because of their weight. So it's kind of the double whammy of people are unkind to them because they're mean, but then they also are unkind because of the stereotype of being a big person. So all of these things combined make it all the more reason why we need to choose kindness and love and compassion and gift that to people. I want you to make it your mission now. If you've watched this and you understand what I'm talking about here today, I want you to make it your mission to go out of your way to be that light in people's life. I try very hard in every point in my life to be a light in other people's lives that maybe they don't even have a light at all shining at them. But if you're kind to other people, that light will shine brightly. All right, guys, that's it for this Jimmy Rants. As always, go to jimmyrants.com. You can watch the full video on replay. If you don't already follow me on Instagram, go on over to @LivingLowCarbMan on Instagram, and you can watch these lives. I generally do them twice a day, once in the morning, once in the afternoon, and then you can watch the replay there for up to 24 hours. And then coming very soon, we're about to launch it, you guys. Get ready. The world doesn't know what it's about to hit them. The Jimmy Rants podcast. It is coming on iTunes very soon. I'll let you guys know all about that when it is ready. So until next time, we'll see you then, you guys. Bye.